The silent lake. The old monk sat by the edge of the silent lake, watching the morning sun dance on the still water. His wrinkled hands rested on his lap, holding a few crumbs of bread that he occasionally tossed to a family of ducks paddling by. His young novice, Jiro, swept the stone path that wound through the garden. He worked his way around the lake, stealing glances at the monk when his back was turned. Jiro was puzzled by his master's calm, unmoving presence. How could he sit there for so long, so silently and peacefully? When Jiro finished his chores, he walked over and sat next to his master, gazing at the lake. He waited for the monk to speak, to share some pearl of wisdom. But the monk said nothing. Unable to bear the silence any longer, Jiro asked, "Master, this lake is beautiful, but completely silent. No birds sing, no crickets chirp. What has made this place so soundless?" The monk smiled gently. "The answer is in the lake itself." Jiro peered at the still waters but discerned no clues. He listened intently for any faint noise but heard none. His patience fading, he asked again. "Master, what do you mean? I hear nothing at all." "Precisely," the monk replied. "This lake is silent because it accepts whatever arises and embraces it fully. It does not judge the sounds that should or shouldn't be. The lake simply is." The monk tore off a bit of bread and tossed it to a duck. "You, like this lake, must learn to accept with equanimity whatever thoughts or sensations arise, without judgment. Your mind must become silent so you can hear life's music." "But how do I silence my mind?" asked Jiro. "It is always full of so many chatterings and disturbances." "Sit by this lake each morning in meditation," the monk said. "Start with 1 minute, and gradually increase the time. Breathe in the silence, breathe out your thoughts. Become the listener, not the thinker. Accept whatever arises and then let it go, still and silent as this lake. In time, your mind will become clear." The following morning, Jiro settled himself next to the edge of the lake to meditate, focusing on his breath moving silently in and out. But his mind soon wandered. Wondering if he was doing it correctly, fretting about his many chores. He opened his eyes to see the monk calmly tossing bread to the ducks. Jiro sighed. Meditating seemed so easy for his master but so difficult for him. But day after day, Jiro persisted. He sat by the lake, following his breath and embracing each thought and worry that arose. Then he let them drift off, as clouds passing before the sun. Gradually, without even noticing, his mind became quieter and clearer. The noisy chatter within calmed to a murmur and then a whisper. One silent morning, Jiro settled into meditation and his breath became so faint, he could hardly feel it. Time seemed to vanish. When he opened his eyes, the sun had risen high. But for the first time, his mind mirrored the tranquil lake, still, peaceful, silent, filled with joy. Jiro went to tell his master the good news. But before he could speak, the monk said, "I know, the lake has become silent for you." "Yes," replied Jiro with wonder. "But how did you know?" The monk smiled. "Because now I can see and hear what this lake has seen and heard all along." The meaning in this story is that silence is a kind of transcendence of the everyday disturbances and chatter in our minds. When we quiet our thoughts through meditation or mindfulness practices, we can achieve a peaceful clarity of mind that allows for insight and wisdom to arise. The old monk is a symbol for that enlightened awareness, and the young novice, Jiro, represents each of us as we struggle to still our restless thoughts. The silent lake is a metaphor for the tranquility we can achieve when we embrace and accept each moment, rather than judging our experiences. With regular practice, we too can become as calm and quiet as that silent lake. Overall, it inspires us to persist in clearing our cluttered minds to gain the serenity that lies beneath the surface.